오늘은 2023년 4월 3일 월요일. 파친고 페이지 10, 페이지 10. November 1932. 챕터 2입니다. The winter following Japanese invasion of Manchuria was a difficult one. Biting winds sheared through the small boarding house, and the woman stuffed cotton in between the fabric layers of their garments. This thing called the depression was found everywhere in the world. The lodgers said frequently during meals, repeating what they'd overheard from the men at the market who could read newspapers. Poor Americans were as hungry as the poor Russians and the poor Chinese. In the name of the Emperor, even ordinary Japanese went without. No doubt, the canny and the hardy survived that winter, but the shameful reports of children going to bed and not waking up, girls selling their innocence for a bowl of wheat noodles, and the elderly stealing away quietly to die so the young could eat were far too plentiful. That said, the boarder expected their meals regularly, and an old house needed repairs. The rent had to be paid each month to the landlord's agent, who was persistent. In time, Yang-jin had learned how to handle money, deal with her suppliers, and say no to terms she didn't want. She hired 2 orphaned sisters and became an employer. She was a 37-year-old widow who ran a boarding house and no longer the shoeless teenager who'd arrived on its doorstep, clutching a set of clean undergarments wrapped in a square bit of fabric. Yang-jin had to take care of Sonja and earn money. They were fortunate to have this business even though they didn't own the house. On the first page 11 of every month, each lodgers paid 23 yen for room and board, and increasingly, this was not enough that buy grain at the market or coal for heat. The lodgers' fees couldn't go up because the men were not making any more money. but she still had to fill them the same amount. So from shinbons, she made thick, milky broth and seasoned the garden vegetables for tasty side dishes. She stretched meals from miles and barely and the meager things they had in the larder when there was little money left at the end of the month. When there wasn't much in the grain sack, she made savory pancakes from bean flour and flour, 밀가루랑 물, flour and water, 전이겠네 전. The largest brought to her fish they couldn't sell in the market. So when there was an extra pail of crabs or mackerel, she preserved them with spice to supplement the scantier meal that were sure to come.